If you fear yourself, then you fear your inner child, and you are afraid of confronting who you are. And you know now, with the avoidant, they don't even have time to share their problems with you. Or even when you wrong them in marriage, they will not tell you this is wrong. You can just read it from the non-verbals if you're intelligent enough. And let me share something with you, Ruth. You can be brought up in a family, but have different personalities and attachments because of the experiences that your parents are going through at that moment.
Have you ever wondered why certain triggers still shake you even as an adult? Some of these answers lie deep in our inner child, and today we are here to learn on how to heal from some of these things. So welcome back to the same room where real conversations bring real healing. And in today's episode, we dive deep into the parts of us that never really had a chance to grow, not because they couldn't, but because they were not safe enough to. So we are unpacking on how unmet childhood needs show up in our adult relationships or even our fears, but most importantly, how to start nurturing those versions of us that still need love, safety, and validation. All right? So if you are on a journey to become a happier, healthier, and a more healed version of yourself, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and share this episode with someone who is ready to begin their healing journey. And I would like to let you know that I am not alone. We have a guest in our studios today, someone that we know, someone who makes sure, someone who loves to make sure that some of these things that are happening to us, some of these things that are happening in our society today, they happen to us with some knowledge. So Bernice, I would like you to introduce yourself so that we can carry on.
Well, my name is Bernice, a psychologist. I'm happy to be in the show today. Yeah.
So thank you. Niseme kwa Kiswahili asanti kwa kuweza kutenga muda wako kuja mahali hapa ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba mambo ambayo yanatendeka katika mazingira yetu, mambo ambayo yanatendeka katika jamii yetu ni mambo ambayo yananipa mimi na wewe na mtazamaji, mimi na mtazamaji uhuru wa kukua na kujiendeleza kama mtu binafsi. And ili tuweze kuendelea na siku ya leo, today we are talking about the inner child.
True.
The inner child, I believe each and every one of us has an inner child. Yes. Each and every one of us has that inside voice that still talks in you, that still dwells in the inside of you. So to start with, Bernice, what is the inner child and how does it affect our lives?
Well, the inner child is actually the personalities that we have.
All right.
We obtain them from the experiences that we've gone through, the traumas that we go through as a child, the good things that we go through, the emotions, every experience. But what happens is that now as an adult, when we grow up, the inner child remains in the unconscious. It only appears if a trigger is full. If you pull a trigger, then the inner child appears. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo jinsi ambavyo tunaweza kusema, have you ever wondered why some triggers still show up, or why some things still trigger you even as an adult? So it's because some of these things exist in our subconscious memories.
Yeah.
Okay, and to carry on with that, explain how the inner child relates to childhood traumas or our unmet needs.
Yeah.
How does it relate?
When we talk about the inner child, actually we are talking about the attachments that we had as a child. How was our upbringing? The parenting skills, how were they? The parenting skills bring attachments. And we have 4 types of attachments. We have the secure, we have the insecure, we have the avoidant, and we have the disorganized. The secure, there is room to grow.
Right.
The parent is there, the love is given, everything that you need as a child is provided for. So there is a chance for growth. But if it is not there and a child feels like insecure, maybe something happened like death. Death is one of the traumas, domestic violence. neglecting the child, rejection, all that is trauma to the child. And you find that now if the child develops, maybe they are neglected, they develop a mistrust. And you find that now when this child grows up, they develop now the insecure kind of attachment. They cry a lot. Have you ever seen children who cry a lot? They cry a lot and they are clinging to the person. So what happens? That crying child, when they grow up, they develop a mistrust. And what happens is that they'll cling on you when it comes to relationship. They will never let you go, but they will always be suspicious of you. Yeah. Then now we go to the avoidant. Avoidant, they push you away. Even in relationships, they are the ones who are getting away. They are always on the run. So you can imagine if you have a mistrust whereby you want to cling on this person as your partner, because with the mistrust, they gain pleasure, strength by codependency. But now with the avoidant, they don't have time for that. In fact, they fear relationships, and if they love you, they don't even know what love is, because in their relationship, they are arm's length. It is limited. And with avoidant, they are always on the move. Today, they have this kind of relationship, they drop you. They get another one, they drop. They get another, they drop. You find that someone is maybe in their 6th or 8th or 7th or 3rd marriage. It is because of the avoidant. They don't trust. And if they come to realize that you want to get closer and know them closer, they drop you and start another relationship. That is the way they operate. But now it comes to a point now that their relationship is like, what am I receiving from Ruth? It is not the issue of love. It is not the issue of attraction. It is not even the issue of attachment with you. Their issue is, what can I gain? And if they are not gaining, then you are useless. They don't need you. And you can imagine that kind of a person in a relationship whereby you are with the mistrust now, who wants you, like, I want to depend on you, and you are not even dependable. That relationship will not work. Then now we have the disorganized. Those ones are even confused when it comes to relationships. They always have mixed feelings. Yeah.
They don't know what they want.
Yeah. And as a child, when you find like now with avoidant, there are those children who love people from outside. You disappear from home for a short while. When you come back, they have no interest with you at all. They don't even want to breastfeed. They don't want anything to do with you.
But people from the outside, they are okay.
They are okay. They now start developing that liking for people outside. Have you ever seen those children, you old, then after some time they want to be given to someone else, That is a sign of avoidant in children, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And coming to that bit in umesema, there are these people when they will hope from marriage to marriage, from relationship to relationship, as a result of an attachment style.
Yes.
Is it the same reason unapata ya kwamba there are people who will keep let me say, I can't remember the right word to give to that, but they have a name of people who cannot stick in a relationship. Na hata kama kwa hiyo relationship, it's either they are cheating ama they just have some funny activities going on.
Yeah, true. True. With avoidant kind of attachment, you cannot relate actually with one person. And there's a lot of anxiety in these three. In the insecure, there's a lot of anxiety in relationships. With the avoidant, there is always the anxiety. And most of the reason why the avoidant really drops or there's something they are doing, it's because they don't want to be left alone. They are like, I will be divorced. So let me get for a plan before it happens. There's fear and anxiety. So they want at least to be safe. But what they are calling safety is not safety. Yeah, they feel like even if I treat her like how, she will still go. They are always on the negative. There's a lot of negative energy that is running through these three other kind of attachments. And that is why you find that they develop low self-esteem. You find that there's a lot of low self-esteem in insecure, in avoidant, and disorganized. Yeah, because they feel like, I'm not good enough. This person will eventually go. So let me just be aware and try to be safe. So they go for an extramarital kind of affair. Or even in relationship, you find that they have so many people, but once they drop you and go to the next. The next might feel that we are staying. No, we are not staying. You still go to the next and the next and the next, and that is their way of life. And it affects in all spheres of life. It affects in their marriages, even in business. Everywhere they go, they cannot like stay together or stick together to you. You will find that there's something they are doing. They are cheating or and then, the attachment is funny. They are not committed. They are not committed to your relationship. Yeah. And they are full of masks. They are not genuine.
Alright.
Especially when it comes to relationships. Yeah. So if they realize that you want to, the mask is like they are being exposed a bit, then my friend, they drop you and move on. Yeah.
Okay, so how would you know that someone's inner child was neglected? Because every day we deal with people.
Yes.
And as we are dealing with people, that person, those people, they have things that they are dealing with. So we see that there's someone who has a particular behavior and we end up wondering, mbona huyu anakuanga hivi? So how would someone know that someone's inner child, how would I know that my inner child was neglected?
Neglection mainly will affect all the three attachments, but mainly the mistrust. The mistrust, where you find that a child was neglected, yes, you came back, but it was too late. So for attention, what will happen? They cry, they are always crying and clinching. Where are you going? Where are you going? So when it comes now to relationships, these people have codependency, and they want to control you fully. When you are in a relationship with them, they want 100%. They want to. All those other three, they will also want to control you. But with the mistrust, you will have to plan your day. And if maybe you have a phone, nowadays, they can even look for ways that the numbers that are on your phone, they are also in their phone, whether you like it or not. You will come to discover that. Because like now, they can even use their email to sign your phone, and you do not know. So the chats that come through, they know everything about you. They are controlling you. They are monitoring you. You have to keep an account of your day. How was your day? They will never ever trust you. They will never ever. Yes.
I want you to talk to ladies because I've had and I've even seen situations whereby someone will say, oh, my partner likes to know where I am, like who do I talk to, what am I doing, like hata kama uko mahali, show me you're at that particular place.
Yeah,
and there are people who find that comfortable because they think that is love.
No, I would say that is not love. That is a red flag you should deal with. And if you are comfortable with it, then you have the same kind of attachment. Yeah, but for a secure person, that will not go down well.
Okay.
Yeah, they will say, I think you are too much. We must have boundaries in this relationship, Yeah, because I believe that boundaries are very, very important. Yeah.
Because, I saw the other day a guy on TikTok. He was talking to ladies who find that comfortable. Where are you? Who are you with? Take a picture for me. I want to see where you are at, who you are with. Alikuwa anasema, you need to look at your inner child, because he was saying you have that attachment style yenye if you can allow someone do that to you, then you have to work on your inner child, because that is not normal. Na alikuwa nasema that is why some of these relationships yenye tunaona people are ending up killing each other and getting into some very funny entanglements, with or without our knowledge, because tunasema there's someone who does not know there's even something that is called like the inner child. Yeye anasemanga mimi nakuanga hivi, ukwangi hivyo, go for therapy.
Yeah, and let me just add on this. With the mistrust, they die in marriages. If they meet like avoidant or disorganized, they are battered to death because they don't want to let go. The mistrust will always say that you will never get a better person than this. The low self-esteem will rise also and say, what will people think about me? Yes, a failure.
Yeah.
They live for other people. What will my children be like without a father. You forget that without you as a mother, then the children will suffer more. So, and you are not supposed to like condone this kind of being battered and all that, because the batterer needs help also. That is a person who needs help. But if you keep on hiding it and you are covering it, you are not helping yourself, you are not helping your children, you are not helping the society, you're not helping anyone, even the relationship, even the batterer himself, he needs help.
Oh, thank you
Yeah.
very much for making that clear. So what are some of the initial steps someone can start taking in order to heal the inner child?
First of all, it is good to know who you are. Self-awareness is very, very important. Each one of us, as a parenting kind of as the way you are brought up, and there's an attachment. So it is good to dig out and know, who am I? What is my attachment? Then, after researching, you acknowledge who you are, because you can research and be aware, but you will not accept that is who you are. Now you start working on it. And by the way, with the three, with the insecure, the avoidant, and the disorganized, they have fear of facing themselves. There are people who cannot stay alone. They are always surrounded by people. If you fear yourself, then you fear your inner child, and you are afraid of confronting who you are. Create time, be alone, write letters to yourself, love yourself, love yourself. And sometimes ask yourself, what kind of a child am I? Am I warm enough? Being warm doesn't mean that you are talkative and you are running around. No. Being warm is, are you empathetic to other people? Because there are people that will enjoy your suffering. You are suffering, but they don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
You are not warm. If that is the kind of a person you are, just look at your behaviors, the way you are behaving, the way you are interacting with people, and you will know your attachment. Then you start working on it. If you feel that you cannot do it alone, then go for therapy. Yeah, go for therapy. It will be perfectly well. The therapist will help you on how to deal with your inner child, and how to deal with the relationships around you. Because most of the relationships that we see they are suffering, even today, people are suffering in marriage, it is their inner child issues, those that were not properly addressed. So it is good to know self-awareness, acknowledge who you are, take time to be alone, listen to yourself.
Good.
Yeah, listen to yourself. Don't mind about what other people think or say. After all, it is your life. It is your life. Yeah, take time and listen to yourself. Yeah.
And you know, the other day when you were talking, Bernice,
Yes.
kuna kitu ambacho umesema, you spoke about there are two types of children, the
Yes.
warm child, and you said they're cold. Is it the cold child? You said there are two types of babies.
There are babies, we have the warm, we have the crying and clinching baby. That one we said is a mistrust, isn't it? Then we have a child who jumps from one person to another. They neglect the people that belong to them. Let's say a mother goes to pick something. When you come back, that child has no business with you at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it is very important for our audience, for our viewer to understand those two type of children.
Yeah.
Those three types
The
of
children,
children
yeah.
that you have spoken about, so that we can have the capacity of even addressing our inner child.
Yes.
Because that is very, very important. And the reason as why I've chosen to start with the inner child, it will give us the basis of going to some other things.
Yes.
Ndio tuweze kuwa na pia, let me say, a good flow of what you're talking about,
Yes.
so that you can help our viewer understand what is even happening deep inside of them. Because kama tulivyosema hapo tukianza, some of these things that we are going through, some of these patterns that we are having as adult,
Yes.
they lie deep in our inner child.
Yes.
Why? Because they never had a chance to grow, and not because they couldn't, but because they were not safe enough to. Why? Because of the environments that we were brought up in.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about that, so how does healing the inner child impact our relationship with others, especially in romantic relationships or even family members? Why am I saying so? I saw someone saying when you are choosing a partner, be very careful. Why? Alikuwa anasema get a person ama choose a person who will at some point be the co-parent of your inner child. Why? Because whether we like it or not, the inner child will have to show up.
True.
Talk about that.
Yeah. When we come to maybe relationships and marriage, you find that there is love, there's attraction, there's the romantic part of it, and there's also the attachment. But these four can change with time. Love alone cannot sustain that marriage. So you need someone who can understand you and someone to lean on in times of trouble, in time when you feel like you can't take it anymore. For example, with the mistrust, you have that kind of attachment style. You need someone who is there for you because they need someone who is there for them. They need someone to walk with them. Even when it comes to small issues, they want you to give them solution. Isn't it? And you make a mistake and get married to the avoidant. The avoidant has not, or the disorganized, has no time for that.
Ana masaa.
Any masaa, yeah. And now with the avoidant, they don't even have time to share their problems with you. Or even when you wrong them in marriage, they will not tell you this is wrong. You can just read it from the non-verbals if you're intelligent enough. They'll not communicate it back to you. The reason being, when they were children and they came up with a problem and they were crying, they were beaten up. And they were told, stop crying. And others will even go to the extent of telling them, laugh. Sheka sasa, washe kulia. So what happens? They confuse what? Pain and happiness. So sometimes they cause pain to you and they are happy. That is the attachment.
Those are the people we call sadists.
Yes. They range between the avoidant and the disorganized. Hapo. Because now their attachment and their personalities, they have mixed feelings, you would say. So now, what is wrong with you? Yeah, you wronged me. But I will not even share it with you. It doesn't make sense after all. You may not even take it seriously because they were never taken seriously. So they keep it to themselves and the next thing, they kill you because they don't see the point of correcting you because it may never change. The situation may never change.
God, that is so sad.
Yeah, they mask a lot. They mask. The disorganized and they mask a lot. And some of them, they would just, you are just wondering, you are with someone in the morning, in the evening you come home, and they have already left. The house is empty. And you are wondering, what happened? What did I do to her? You did so many things. It's only that she was not even saying a thing. You did so many things to him. It's only that he was not talking. He is avoidant. So by healing them, by healing these people, if you can bring them up just to kill this low self-esteem and become more assertive, and they're in a position to say, I didn't like this, my dear. I didn't like that. But we can correct this. If you did this and this, it would have made me happier. That is a person who is communicating. Or if something goes wrong, they tell you that, no, I don't think whether taking that direction will help us in any way. But they never say a thing. They never say a thing. So when they are healing, the better. It is good to reinforce communication, positive energy, positive communication in them so that they can be in a position to voice out what they are going through in that relationship, what they are going through in that marriage, what they are going through in the place of work, because they can also be like they are projecting their issues from work to you. In work, they are quiet. When they come home, they are also quiet. They don't want to discuss their issues. They are only moody.
Oh, yeah, there are people who are always moody.
Yeah, they are always moody because they don't know how to voice out their issues. And others go to addictions, They want to kill that stress. You find that they have turned alcohol. Addiction has already taken toll on them. It's because they are not sharing out their issues. So trying to, at least, assertiveness, communication skills. Then there are others who will just throw tantrums Have you ever seen a grown-up throwing tantrums? It's because they do not know how to voice out their issues. Yes, they do not know how to voice out their issues. So these behaviors that you see in people, then you should address them. And if they are addressed, then the relationship is okay. If you know how to voice out your issue, you are communicating. So the problem will be solved.
Yeah.
And the issues of battering and all that, they'll be normal. The issues of jumping from one marriage to another, it will be not there anymore. So it is good to know. However, when it comes to the inner child, remember I said it is on the unconscious. In our minds, we have the conscious, the things that we know. We have the subconscious, the things that they keep on coming and going. But the unconscious only shows when a trigger is pulled. Yeah. So some of these things are just in the back of our minds. They only appear, but they control us quite a lot,
Unknowingly.
Unknowingly, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
unknowingly. You talk to someone anakwambia, mbona hukuniambia kama nilikukosea? Ya nini? Wacha tu ikae. Haijaka. Yeah. That is a person. Yeah. That is a person who is processing other things. Wacha ikae siku mbili, siku tatu. Wacha ikae. They have moved on. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And I think that is why it is very important for us to be having some of these conversations.
Yeah, true.
Because we cannot just be moving around. Remember, there's the conscious, subconscious, and the unconscious.
Yes.
Some of these things control us without our knowledge. But
True.
when you go for therapy, you will know what is happening to you.
Yeah.
And so tukisalia pale pale on the issues of romantic relationships and even family members, when it comes to choosing a life partner, jinsi ambavyo umeweza kusema, how then will I know? Vile umesema, there are people who will mask, and then we're in the house, unapata ala, what's happening? Kumbe ulikuwa hivi, unaona? And then it becomes, kunakuwa na ile mvurutano nyingi, of which at some point, that will lead to maybe the breakage of the marriage, the breakage of the relationship, yeah? So, is there a particular way someone can, because umesema there are certain types, there are certain personalities that can't just get married. Talk about that. Because an insecure with a secure and an avoidant and an avoidant, an insecure with a secure, an insecure with an insecure. What kind of partnership will that be?
Well, if you create first, you know yourself first.
Yeah.
It starts with you. Then there are things that you can even look in a relationship on, hey, fulani ako na hii weakness, nitawezana nayo. You know the problem is that tunajipea moyo. Tunasema huyu mtu atachange tu tukioana. My friend, there's nothing like changing when you get married. If you cannot stand something in a person, please, wachana na huyo mtu. Mwache tu. Yeah. You are still in a relationship, you have so many options. Yeah. Wewe wachana tu na hiyo kitu. Then if you know yourself quite well, and now that we are talking about it, go research and you will know your partner akona which kind of attachment. You will definitely know. Yeah. Because with the avoidant and the disorganized, there is that push and pull. And there is no growth in that marriage. Push and pull. Kuna vitu za Ruth, kuna vitu za Bernice. Kuna vitu za Ruth, kuna vitu za Bwana Ruth. There is that push and pull. And remember, with the avoidant, the insecure and the disorganized, some of them, they are perfectionists. Yes, because they believe that being a perfect person can impress people. And it starts when you are a child. If you want less punishment, especially those people from the authoritarian, where wazazi ndio kusema na watoto hawasikizwi, you find that now to impress your parent, you have to be perfect in everything. Perfect when you go home, unaosha nyumba vizuri, everything is in order. So you find now it is a problem also coping out there in relationships because you are operating on a straight line and you are very rigid. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But can someone be a mixture? Because unapata there's someone, maybe jinsi ambavyo umesema, a partner who will communicate to you.
Yes.
Bernice, I don't like this. Ruth, I don't like this. Can we rectify? But you cannot confront them.
Yes.
I've had and seen such situations.
Yes.
Huwezi mwambia, lakini anataka kukwambia.
That is now power and control. They feel that they are the ones, wao ndio kusema tu. They cannot be changed. Avoidant, hao wako avoidant and the disorganized. Mistrust hayuko huko. Hapo hao ni avoidant, they are the best, remember? I talked about perfectionism.
Yeah.
Perfections, they are the best of the best. Na hata wakiingia kwa kampuni, they want to change everything and go their way because they are very controlling. Yeah, they want to change that power, you feel it. Nimekuja. So everything, their presence, you even feel it. Nasema fulani ndio huyo. And if he's a boss in the office, watu unaanza kuona watu wana change behavior. Wengine wanaamua, hai, wacha nisimame. Wengine wanasema, wacha niombe kama sikuwa siombe. Kama nifanye kazi, if I was on, you know, they, in fact, they impact. Their presence impacts people, but on the negative side of life. Because what they carry is negative energy. And let me share something with you, Ruth. You can be brought up in a family, but have different personalities and attachments because of the experiences that your parents are going through at that moment.
Thank you.
Yes. That is why you find that you are very different with our siblings. And people say that there is always a black sheep in the family. It is too unfortunate to be born when your parents are going through very tough times. Like maybe there's a loss of someone, our family member in the family, maybe a father or a mother, and you are very attached to. You find that now that person is no longer there, and you know the kind of a closeness and attachment that you had, you will be affected, you will feel neglected, and the process, you might develop either avoidant or mistrust or even disorganized. While those people were born when they were enjoying lavishly with their parents and all that, they will have a secure attachment. But when it comes to you, you have a different kind of an attachment. It happens into families. When you are going maybe through a storm, maybe financially, you find that your parents provided for you what you had, but now here it comes, life has changed. You have now to go to maybe changing school. There are so many losses that are surrounding you. You are moving from one estate to another. You are changing schools and all that. You find that you've incurred a lot of stress and trauma now sets in. Now, instead of now being the secure kind of a child, you turn now and become insecure because you do not know what will happen next. You don't know who you are going to lose next, whether you are going to move now and lose those other friends, go to a different place, and it takes time to adjust. So these challenges that we go through in our homes and challenges that we go, even in the country, you find that that is where we have different generations with different kind of behaviors, personalities, and qualities. Yeah, you find now like we have the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are not like the millennials and all that. They are very different. What made them different? It is the surrounding. What was the country going through? What was the world going through? When you look at the kids that during COVID, with all those restrictions, attachment was also affected. So that is why I was saying that attachment keeps on changing. As much as love, attraction, yeah, they keep on changing, shifting. Yeah.
So how can someone's inner child, I want you to talk about this deeply, because I've seen situations whereby someone says they don't like the way their parents do things to them. And when you confront the parent, if I confront my parent, they are not aware. And there's a very high possibility they have forgotten. So, how can someone's inner child affect their parenting?
Yeah. Can I shock you?
Yes.
The maladaptive kind of parenting attachments that we have and skills, they are passed from one generation to another, until they are corrected. Okay? So you find that now you are telling your mother, I find this wrong, Mama. And that is her life. She has lived all that. Their generations are like that. Are you the only one who is seeing the mistakes? They don't even know. Remember, it is on the unconscious, and that is their way of life. Like I would say, like the families of maybe domestic violent families, if you get a husband who is like that, avoidant or disorganized, and is a batterer, and your mother was battered, do you see any problem with that?
No.
Yeah, that is the way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's a time I was sharing about the plates in our homes. You find like me personally, my mother had those plates for again. And we never touched those plates. But now when I go home, medium again. So I was like, as a child, no, what is this? And they were very nice and all that. And I said in my house, I will never allow that kind of a thing. But to her, now she gives us the plate and she tells us that now it's just a new again, you know. But where did she get it from? From her mother. Yeah, from her mother, because, you know, people loved others more than they loved themselves. Yeah. You should treat visitors or others better than you, instead of treating yourself better than others. Yes.
And I was seeing someone sharing on TikTok, akisema when they are in their family, when there's a visitor, maybe a cousin, a friend has visited their home, the mom is like, she drops her children. Now we are focusing on you, the visitor. To some point that she even neglects their own needs.
Yes.
Sasa anashughulika na mgeni, like you guys, goja kwanza, we have some important
things
to do.
Yeah, and that is why I shared about these children who will drop their, if the mother doesn't appear when they want to breastfeed, they love strangers more than, it started from their childhood. Yeah. They loved strangers more than their own. Yeah. So that is where now it starts. You find that is a sign, that is an attachment style. And if the kids can really see that is wrong, then they are correcting themselves, because they will never, they will not allow to place their other people in where they do not belong. Yeah, where they should not be, because I believe that you should treat your, before charity, they say charity starts at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you should sabotage other people for your children to prosper. No. Just treat people fairly. Yeah, treat people fairly. Yeah.
You know, I'm loving this conversation because, you know, some of these things, my generation, us, there are things that you will sit down and laugh about, but they're not funny. Because some of these things, if you're not careful about them, they can really go far.
True.
You can hit rock bottom as a result of some of these things. Kwa hivyo, it's very, very important for you to address, especially what you're talking about the inner child. Address that, know who you are, what do you want, all right? And so sasa tukimaliza, for someone who might be skeptical about the concept of the inner child or even healing, so explain in simple terms how important this is, because there are people who have grown up so traditionally that they don't believe in some of these things. Unamwambia about the inner child, understanding the concept, and they wonder, yo, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you know, it's just like burying your head on the sand, and you can see that times have moved. Most of the families, and you know, we also have different kind of families. We have the traditional, we have the modern family, we have the nuclear. So if you are still left on the traditional kind of a family, whereby you are not moving with times, you find it very difficult to cope with when it comes to relationships, because you want, and some of these traditional families, it's not about you and your wife, it is about the family as a whole. I would say the community as a whole. What does our community say? Even when it comes even to political issues, they just want you to think like a community, to think like a family. You don't have that freedom, you know? So it is, I would say it is dangerous not to ignore some of these things. And that is where now self-aware, how can you ignore knowing yourself? You do not want to touch the real Bernice. Bernice is afraid of the Bernice, because your inner child is truly who you are. Truly who you are. That is the baby. And we only need to a trigger. Yeah, and you see the real person in you.
You know, you have said that. I remember I was talking to my friend the other day, and you see the first trigger when something happens to you, your first reaction, that is you. You are confronted, oh, you did this.
Yeah.
You see that first thing. your first reaction,
Yeah.
now that is you.
Yeah, it is good to you just trickle the baby in you. It is very important. Tickle the baby in you and know yourself better. You'll come to know yourself better. There are things that you like, of course. Where did they originate from? I like this, I don't like this, I love this color, I don't, such small things. How come you love red and not green? It's because there's something about you. Because even when it comes to dressing sometimes talks about the situation and the experience that we are going through in life. Yeah. So it is important. I feel that it is very important to know really who you are. Who am I? Who am I? Yeah. Yeah.
This conversation is just something. And that is why you should share this episode with someone you know they are willing to begin a healing journey. So Bernice, in a nutshell, kwa sababu tumemaliza, what would you like our viewer to take home? What is the most important thing that you'd like our viewer to understand?
Work on yourself. Let's work on our personalities. Let's work on our attachments. Let's not blame anybody for what happened to us. Let's focus on ourselves and work on ourselves. There's still time for change. That is what I'll say.
Thank you. There's still time for change. And someone said, again, let me say, someone said, at a certain age, you get to a certain age and you should not be blaming your parents.
Yeah.
You should not be blaming anyone because it is your responsibility and you need to be accountable for each and every action that you make.
True.
At a particular age. All right? So thank you very much, Bernice, for creating time to be in the same room. We say in the same room, we have real conversations that bring real healing, one conversation at a time. Until the next episode, see you.